Eddie Stobart is cranking it up a gear.
Away we go then! This whole system's good.
They're already among the titans of the tarmac and one of the rulers of the railways. But now they're aiming to be admirals of the air, flying to more international destinations than ever.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Who's next, please?
They've invested in some new trucks that carry tons of precious cargo.
One wheel alone's about £1,000.
So they're ready to tackle the toughest missions.
Come on!
Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Brave the wildest weather.
I don't like snow. Every time we hit a gust of wind, the steering wheel's going like the clappers.
And confront colossal challenges.
Mental, this, innit? It's going to be a bumpy ride, I think.
The pressure is always on.
We're up against it a little bit at the moment.
To keep this haulage firm running at full throttle.
Just keep going and fighting through it.
I'm expecting a big set of teeth in the arse at some point today now because it's all going too well.
Coming up, day driver Ian O'Neill has a battle with the brutal British weather.
If it does come down bad, then we're going to have to rough it, unfortunately, in the vehicle.
Urban warrior Jimmy Callahan has a run-in during a multi-drop mission.
I can't out traffic.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to start on the car park and bugger everybody else up.
I'm just doing the delivery.
And it's the end of an era as the firm move out of their Crick depot, so the spotters are out in force.
I don't think 283 photos is enough for today, so I'm going to try and make 300 at least.
The company began over 4 decades ago with just one contract, to deliver fertiliser to farmers. Today they transport millions of pounds worth of goods every year, from horses to horsepower.
There's a lot of responsibility on my shoulders when you've got an expensive load like this.
But today the firm has been tasked with delivering something totally out of the ordinary.
It's a novel job for us, yeah. It's not our bread and butter.
A replica airplane that will be used to train the firefighters at the company's Southend Airport. Just like this one used at Heathrow, the simulator will let the firefighters practice putting out a blaze, so it could save lives in the long run.
The firemen have got to be trained, make sure that in the event of an emergency they're ready to go.
This mission is unique, as the haulage firm themselves are the customers, having invested heavily in this kit. So they've sent in a specialist squad from their rail division, experts in breaking down and delivering heavy machinery. Project manager Andy Barrett and his crack crew of 4 will take apart the 24-ton replica plane and load it onto 3 flatbed trucks.
Yeah, it's interesting. Every day is different.
It's 9:30 a.m. at the plane's current home at Southend Airport near Bristol. It's already been broken into a 17-ton main body known as a fuselage, and 7 tons of wings, engines and propellers.
I don't think there's anything we can't carry now if we carry this.
Now to cut the fuselage off its steel frame and hoist it out with an 85-metre tall extendable crane.
There, he's got it now, look.
Such a heavy load must be swung safely and positioned perfectly over the trailer before being gently lowered onto it.
It's gone very well.
After only 30 minutes, it's trucked off to Southend Airport without a hitch.
Happy days are here again. It's off.
Now the toughest task begins. Fitting 7 tons of steel of all shapes and sizes, including 2 huge wings, onto the low loaders.
Just to start load our bits and pieces up now.
So it's time to bring out the big guns. 2 of the rail division's toughest and highest tech trucks. These princesses of power are 2 of only 5 blue and white rail trucks in the 2,500 strong fleet and have a combined 900 brake horsepower. One has a state-of-the-art built-in crane which lifts a whopping 9 tons at a time, all operated by a handheld remote control. It even neatly folds away when you're finished.
Land on the floor for us, please.
First, Ian and the rail crew must load the 2 massive wings.
That's going to be a fair height, isn't it?
But they're causing them huge problems.
One of my main concerns now is, once we get it up, just see how high it is. Once we get it on the floor in my wagon, it's got to be less than 16 foot for any motorway bridges.
If the total height of the load is an inch over 16 feet, the wings won't be going anywhere and the mission will be a failure.
We're just having a bit of trouble with the height now. It's when it's sitting in the frame and on my trailer, it's too high now.
The height is just over 16 feet.
We can't put it flat because it's too wide. How can we get that down?
After 20 minutes of head scratching, the team hatch a master plan.
So are you happy with the height if I cut that pipe off?
Yeah.
There's only one thing to do. Some last-minute surgery to remove a pipe that will be reattached later. And then a prayer to the trucking gods that the load's height is now low enough.
All right. No, that's 16 to the floor. That should be all right, huh?
After a huge sigh of relief, the final challenge.
It's just trying to fit everything on.
Getting the rest of the pieces of this massive plane puzzle onto the 2 low loaders.
The day has gone a bit rough up to now, trying to fit things in, but I think we're winning now.
It takes the rail crew 4 hours to solve this gigantic jigsaw.
Oh, but to the back, David.
And it's put them seriously behind schedule. Southend's firefighters expect the rig today before they finish their shift. But it's now 4 p.m. and they're on the other side of the country.
I don't know whether we're going to get to Southend Airport tonight, with it taking so long. But we'll struggle on, we'll get there.
Wagon drivers Ian and David get the truck out of Southend Airport. They must hump their 7-ton load 175 miles east to Southend Airport in Essex, where it will be rebuilt into a complete replica plane. They need to hit the gas fast, but before they can, their measuring skills are being put to the test by a low bridge. There are just centimetres to spare.
We were under it anyways.
The convoy of plane parts hits a clear M4, so they soar 105 miles east, clawing back some precious time. But as darkness falls, they hit London, home to 8 million people and the notorious M25. It's now 7:30, and the rail team are stationary.
So that's held us back a bit now. There isn't a lot you can do about it now.
They taxi along at a snail's pace for an hour.
Things are just starting to move a bit slowly now, so we might not be doing so bad.
Finally, it's liftoff. And the convoy flies the final 30 miles to Southend Airport. But it's now 10 p.m. and they've missed their delivery time, so we'll have to overnight just outside.
There we go, done it.
Next morning, they're up bright and early to finally deliver their crucial cargo.
Yeah, it's gone very well. A little bit longer than what we thought, but we got there in the end.
In the coming weeks, the fire rig will be reassembled and ready for action.
The firefighters at Southend Airport will be able to do the practicing now. Hopefully it'll help them. That's what's done now, yeah.
Coming up, urban warrior Jimmy Callahan has a trucking nightmare.
Can't do this. I've got to reverse down there. I'm absolutely screwed.
And day driver Ian O'Neill hits Mother Nature head on.
It's going to be fun today.
Every day, the haulage firm's 4,500 truckers drive the equivalent distance of 30 laps of the Earth. 1,500 of them are day drivers, as they work shifts and overnight at home, not in their trucks.
Do you know what? There's good. There's real good. And then there's me.
44-year-old ex-infantry soldier Jimmy Callahan has been a day driver for 3 years.
When I'm in work, nothing phases me. As long as it's on time, that's all I'm bothered about.
And today he's faced with a mission only fit for the toughest truckers.
Cold one this morning.
It's the crack of dawn at his base in Widnes, Cheshire.
What delights have we got today?
Around Manchester.
The dreaded drops around Manchester.
Yes, there you go.
See you again. See you later. Ta-ra.
Jimmy has 5 drops to do, and the delivery slots are tight.
The first drop's due in at 6:15, so they want it there at 6:15. But yeah, we always like to be on time.
Before Jimmy hits the road, he's got to log his truck into the system.
That's like our clocking on card, if you like. As a driver, we call it the spy. Can't get away with nothing. They can go onto their computer screens and track us. They think we don't know, but every time it flashes, that's them clocking us, and they think we don't know.
With the spy switched on and his paperwork signed,
Ready to go.
Jimmy and his 5-ton load of refrigerated food are ready to rock and roll.
What's you putting that in your fridge in one go? Some size fridge, like, wasn't it?
So he hits the road to begin his monster multi-drop mission. It's a 30-mile drive east to the middle of Manchester, where he'll drop his first of 5 loads. From there, he'll take a 25-mile tour of the northwest, taking in Bamford, Bury, Tottington and Radcliffe, where he hopes victory will be declared.
We're not going to have one problem today. It's going to be in and out, so I'm going to disappoint you all. Just jinxed myself, like, haven't I, so?
Jimmy's 5 deliveries are to the largest retailer in the UK, one of the haulage firm's major contracts, so he can't be late.
Before today, it took me 2 hours to get from Widnes to Manchester city centre. It can be that bad, the traffic.
There's no traffic today, so Jimmy marches east on the A557. He has plenty of time to spare, so takes the chance to refuel.
Coffee time.
And do what every TV star does first thing in the morning. Check his Twitter account.
This is religious, this, every morning. Been on now about 6 weeks, and I've got just over 1,500 at the minute.
There's no time to witter on, so after sending out a quick message to his followers,
off we travel.
Jimmy motors down the remaining 17 miles of a clear M62 towards Manchester.
So we should be bang on for our delivery because we haven't been held up at all. Should be.
He arrives in the city centre 5 minutes early, so takes the chance to check in with his fans.
There you go. Hundreds of them. You're a star. It's great, great.
But when the company's new superstar arrives at drop 1,
let's get the first one out the way.
An encounter with the loading crew quickly turns him from TV hero to zero.
Thought we would be getting Mark Dixon, but we've got this clown instead.
Clown? Clown? Don't you know who I am?
I'm gutted, to be honest. I had my autograph book out and everything, and instead of seeing him getting out the trailer, which is not too happy about, to be honest.
Mark Dixon? Is he on about? I haven't even heard of him.
His ego may be bruised, but Jimmy keeps his cool and quickly tips his first few cages of refrigerated food.
1 down, 4 to go.
It's now a 12-mile blast north to Bamford for Jimmy's second drop of the day. That is if he can fight through the gridlock.
Do not despair. You will get your pay. And your apple and your orange. Hey, car drivers, they are the scourge of my job, you know. Look, right through a red light. Have some of that, lad. Honest to God.
Unlike his car driving friend, Jimmy waits for a green light and watches the traffic clear. So he's in a confident mood.
We're bang on time for our next stop and we might even be a bit early. And can't foresee any problems really, to be honest with you. We're sorted. It looks like Bamford's getting its bread on time.
Has the multi-drop major spoken too soon? The delivery point in Bamford is at the back of a car park, and it's absolutely rammed.
Absolutely shocking. Can't even see where I've got to get to.
Jimmy must reverse his truck into the delivery point, and that is looking like an impossible task.
Yeah, but where am I going to go here? I am not getting down there. Not a chance of getting down there. Some decides to park outside the parking bay. I'm not even getting down this bend. Can't do this. I've got to reverse down there. I just can't do it.
We'll find out later if the urban warrior can pull his multi-drop mission back from the brink.
I'm absolutely screwed.
The red and green trucking machines are one of the most common sights on the 245,000 miles of road that blanket Britain. But they're not as common as this. The dodgy British weather.
It's a little bit of a white-knuckle ride at the moment.
As terrifying as it is temperamental, over the past few years we've been blasted with Arctic conditions. But that seldom stops the truckers.
If you've got to come to work and be miserable, then why bother? Have a laugh, have a joke. Life's too short to be messing about.
Today, 57-year-old day driver Ian O'Neill has been tasked with hitting Mother Nature head-on.
Well, good morning. You've picked a right day today, haven't you, to come and see us?
It's 9 a.m. at a freezing cold Crick depot in the Midlands. But cheeky chappy Ian is still feeling chipper.
As you can see, we've got a bit of snow about. Could be a bit of hazardous today, but hey, that's life. It's going to be fun today.
Before Ian hits the road, he gives his leading lady, Shirley Margaret, a good once-over.
Well, basically, I mean, the tyres have to be in good condition because obviously the cold and the snow. So if you've got good tread, and then we get traction and we can get moving.
Shirley Margaret's tyres have plenty of tread.
So I think we're ready to rock and roll and get on the road and have some fun.
So Ian can hop into his cab.
Oh, that's better.
Stick the heating on.
Right, we'll just get ourselves nice and comfy.
And hit the road with a truck full of soft drinks to deliver.
Our main priority with today's work is the weather. It could be quite an interesting day, we'll say.
From the Crick depot, he has a 17-mile drive south to a wholesaler in Northampton. From there, it's a 37-mile battle through the elements to Luton, where he'll tip the rest.
Today, just keeping our eyes open, watching the other vehicles mainly, making sure they're behaving, just being cautious because we all want to get home tonight.
The salt spreaders have been out in force on the M1, so Ian's journey to his first drop is frost-free.
This is where we come off the main road onto the industrial estate.
But that's not the case when he enters the company's delivery yard. There's patches of black ice.
We might get a bit of a twitch as we just did then to get us round.
Ian must avoid any more twitches, a trucker's word for skidding, if he's to manoeuvre back onto the delivery bay.
This is the fun bit now because it's a blind reverse. In other words, we're blindsiding it, and obviously I can't see much at all, really.
The slippery surface is no match for cool customer Ian.
I think we've done very well then. Oh, look at that.
He quickly tips his first load
Number one done.
and gets back on the road.
Yeah, we've got the cruise control in now. We're rocking and rolling, no problem.
Ian cruises down the M1 towards Luton for 13 miles. But suddenly he spots a danger warning on his dashboard.
When the weather gets down to minus, we'll get one that pops up with a warning sign saying, you know, freezing conditions. That's what we've got on at the moment with -2 on the gauge.
The snow is falling fast, and that could wreak havoc for a day driver like Ian.
Obviously, if it does turn nasty, being a day driver, we don't carry any gear with us like for night outs. So if it does come down bad, then we're gonna have to rough it, unfortunately, in the vehicle.
This situation is one that Ian has faced before.
I've had this up in Italy where I got stuck when I used to do Continental. We were actually stuck on the mountain, and the villagers used to come up and give us food every day, hot meal and soup. Without that, we would have been in big trouble, the European drivers.
But it will take more than a storm to put the skids on this mission.
It would take a lot to stop us. I've never failed yet.
At 10:30, Ian comes off the clear M1 and hits the icy back roads of Luton.
It's getting a bit trickier, we'll say. If we're a bit heavy-footed with the accelerator on these vehicles, the back wheels can slide on us, or even a jackknife if we're too heavy-booted, so we have to be nice and gentle with the controls.
After a 5-minute trudge through the sludge, light-booted Ian arrives safely at his final drop.
This bit has not been gritted at all, so we're just going nice and steady with this.
It's then a tight squeeze to get his 4.5-metre tall truck beneath the roof of the loading bay.
Listen. No, we're all right. That tells us we're okay to get through.
Before Ian braves the snow once more
Just a little bit chilly.
and tips the rest of his liquid load to win the winter war with Mother Nature.
Done, dusted and smoking. We've beaten the snow. I'm heading home. Rock and roll. Take care, kids.
Coming up, can multi-drop Major Jimmy Callahan complete his monster mission?
Any wonder my stress levels are through the roof.
And Crick veteran Mark Dixon bids a fond farewell to his favourite depot before it's closed for good.
It's like the end of it, innit? The story started here and now it's going. Hasta la vista, Crick.
Day driver Jimmy Callahan is in the middle of a multi-drop mission, but has hit the buffers in Bamford.
Don't know how I'm going to do.
He must reverse into the delivery point, but it's at the back of a packed car park, so he's totally trucked.
I'm going to have to go back out because I'm blocking the road and everything here. I've got no space to do nothing. Can't even turn around this corner.
Jimmy's 20-ton fridge is blocking everyone else in, and it's not gone unnoticed.
Are you going out, mate, yeah?
I'm in a bit, but everyone else is trying to get out as well.
I know, I'm absolutely screwed, mate.
It's getting beyond a joke.
I know, mate.
You turned up at this time.
I can't help traffic.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to start on the car park and bugger everybody else up.
I know, I'm trying to get out. But people are not parking in parking bays, so I can't even get round it. Look.
Yeah, I know it's not your fault.
No, it's not. It's not my fault, mate. I'm just doing the delivery.
Our concerned car driver offers Jimmy a light at the end of the tunnel.
So what you reckon all these cars to the school?
3/4 of this car park will be gone in 15 minutes.
All right, lad, no problem. Cheers, lad.
He's got to get out of the car park until the school run clears, but Jimmy's jammed.
Oh, hey. I'm just going to have to sit and wait. Nothing I can do.
There's one car blocking Jimmy from turning his truck around, so he has to park up and wait for it to move.
Always always something.
And wait.
It's only wonder my stress levels are through the roof.
And wait.
Being in the army was a doddle compared to this.
After 40 minutes, it's not budged. And with the multi-drop major having a delivery schedule to meet, he forms a battle plan to get his truck turned round so he can tip his load.
I'm going to have to do all kinds of reversing, forwards, reverse, coming down one-way streets, all to get round these cars.
This is a tricky manoeuvre to pull off in a car, but Jimmy must do it in a 13-metre-long truck.
This is going to be a nightmare. There's going to be some manoeuvring here, mate. It's a good job I'm doing it.
First, he must reverse centimetres past parked cars.
What's the arse end of my trailer doesn't hit any of them cars?
Then squeeze round a tight bend.
So far, so good.
And after 10 minutes of masterful manoeuvring, and a little help from his friends,
I've got two of them guiding me in here and I don't know which one to watch.
the urban warrior pulls off what looked like a mission impossible.
Hey, hey! Some bit of manoeuvring there, eh? Happy days. It's put us back though, I must admit.
It's not only the 1 hour delay that's wiped the smile from Jimmy's face.
Look here, the BM's gone now. Typical. I've done all that manoeuvring in between cars and now it's all finished, the BM's gone. Typical. Typical. Mind you though, you've seen me driving skills there, didn't you? Hey.
Quick as a flash, 3 more cages of food are plucked from Jimmy's truck.
Can't believe all that waiting around and all that messing around for 3 cages. Bleeding hell, nightmare.
After escaping the battleground bruised but not beaten, Jimmy now has a short 5-mile march east to Bury and drop 3.
After that fiasco, we are now playing catch-up. And Bury will be bouncing off the walls for the bananas.
After 20 minutes, Jimmy arrives in Bury, and it's buried under a pile of queuing traffic.
Typical town centre, ring road, traffic lights everywhere. It's not a helping our timings, like.
A stressed-out Jimmy arrives at drop 3 40 minutes behind schedule to find the loading bay blocked. But a quick call from his daughter Sophie should cheer him up.
Hello?
Hello?
You're all right?
I'll be ready to hospital.
Why, what's up? Oh yeah. Thought there was something wrong then.
Jimmy's got exciting news.
I'm going to be a granddad for the second time and look. You wouldn't even know I was a granddad, would you? Like this complexion and this face.
He's got another important delivery on his mind. And this one's definitely not going to be easy.
Some people, they're just stupid. They can see that you're waiting to reverse back. And they just park in your way. Yeah.
After 15 minutes, the first car leaves. Jimmy gets into reverse. And then another one blocks him in.
These things are sent to try us, aren't they?
Luckily, it's just turning round. So Jimmy can back into the delivery point, ready to tip his 3rd load.
Me ding-dang-do is sweating like a glass blower's arse.
And in just 5 minutes, more food is emptied from his mammoth fridge.
And another one bites the dust.
Jimmy's quick unloading has caught him up some serious time.
Now we're going for today. Tottington are waiting on the trifles and the tomatoes.
It's only 1.5 miles north to his penultimate drop.
My mum said, you don't have sound terrible on the telly, so this is Tottington. This is just for you, Mum, Tottington.
And in the blink of an eye, he's in Tottington with their trifles.
One more to go. We've had our ups and downs on these 5 drops. Get to this last drop with no problems and we're home and dry.
Jimmy's final drop is a 4-mile jaunt south to Radcliffe.
we'll be way behind time. Now we're just about right. The urban warrior strikes again.
And after rattling a few more cages, the Major's multi-drop mission is accomplished.
Let's go.
Being one of the largest haulage firms in Britain, with 6,000 staff and 2,500 trucks delivering goods every 20 seconds, means you need some serious working space. From Widnes to Warrington, Scotland to London, the company operates from 50 hubs across the country. Right in the heart of them all is the busiest depot, Crick in the Midlands. Opened in 1996, here 600 trucks go in and out every day, with millions of pounds of business planned, packed and pushed out. But hot off the press is the news that the depot is closing.
End of an era. Crick's been there years.
The firm are developing a state-of-the-art new site 4 miles away in Rugby. So the final whistle is about to be blown on Crick.
It was a nice place to start. There's plenty of space in there. The best memories are meeting up with my mates and having a good laugh with them there, man.
Best thing about Crick Depot is getting a good night's kit there and getting all my channels on my telly, which were belting, really.
One of the worst memories I've got at the Crick Depot was the showers for us. It was definitely a case where you needed to wear your flip-flops.
But there's one man who'll miss the depot more than most. 36-year-old tramper Mark Dixon started his trucking career for the Red and Green Army out of Crick.
Basically, my back garden is tarmac and white lines. My front garden's the depot. And this is my living room.
Mark's now based out of the Sherburn depot in Yorkshire. But today he's returned to Crick for one final run before the gates close. So he's taking a ride down memory lane.
Basically, after what, 6 years of me being here, just over 6 years, this depot is finally closing down. Obviously, I started Stobart's here.
It's all starting to flood back.
My first truck was Emily Kate. It was an 04 Volvo. And then I got an 06 one. And then obviously Gabrielle Rose came here. And then I got Phoebe Grace here.
In 2010, Mark and Phoebe Grace became one of the most famous double acts in the fleet.
No way!
And an emotional day for a fresh-faced Mark Dixon.
That's my other daughter, Phoebe Grace.
Oh, I'm well proud of that. I am absolutely well proud. My job started here, so it's like the end of it, innit? My story started here and now it's going.
Mark has one last walk around his darling depot, and it looks like it'll be hard to let go.
That's it. Blow it up. I'm out of here.
Oh, maybe not. Mark's last run out of Crick is a juicy one, as he has 26 pallets of soft drinks to deliver. First, he'll motor 46 miles up the M1 to a cash and carry in Derby, before another 42-mile blast north to a retailer in Worksop near Sheffield. Once tipped, he'll travel to his current depot in Yorkshire. That is, if he can drag himself away from his old one.
When you think about it, the fact I'm never going to come in this yard again, it is quite weird, to be fair.
Are the floodgates about to finally open?
I spent God knows how many years coming in here, sleeping in here, showering in here, even pooing in here, and I won't do it anymore.
Mark better get back to dropping off his next monster load.
Hasta la vista, Crick.
After a few minutes, the depot has disappeared from Mark's mirrors, so he's feeling a little misty-eyed.
I must admit, if I'm honest, because I was based out of Crick for so long, I put my hands up and say I do actually miss the place. I suppose Crick has been like home for me.
Mark has a canny idea to keep the old depot's legacy going for the members of the firm's fan club.
Maybe they could go down there and like cut a piece of grass up for them or something, so they can all take a little bit of turf home with them. You know, like they do at Wembley. They could put it in their garden and say, that was part of a depot.
Mark's now 46 miles north and arrives at Derby bang on time, ready to drop his first load of drinks. It looks like the emotional strain of leaving Crick behind has wiped Mark out.
If in doubt, go to sleep.
But there's no time for a quick kip.
Done.
He's got one delivery left to do before he can head home.
Just cruising up the M1 now to the second delivery. All's good.
And 42 miles of cruising later.
We're now at workshop at our second delivery. Get this done, and my weekend is getting a little bit closer.
After a quick-fire drop, Mark hot-foots it to his current depot in Sherburn, Yorkshire.
One depot that they aren't moving. Welcome to Sherburn.
And after a 6-year-long relationship, Mark and the Crick depot are officially separated for good.
That was the last time I pull out of Crick. Next time I go down there, it'll be to the new depot, and we'll see if it's as good as this one.
Coming up, just before Crick closes, some lucky spotters go on an Access All Areas tour.
Like a kid in a sweet shop, you don't know which way to look first. The company's iconic Crick depot is about to close, and earlier, an emotional Mark Dixon made his last ever run out of it.
Hasta la vista, Crick.
But there are 25,000 people who will be even sadder to see it go. The members of the Haulage firm's fan club. Since the company started naming their trucks 40 years ago, their loyal band of lorry lovers have been logging spots of them, with Crick being a popular place to do it.
We shall miss coming here because we've made such good friends, you know. The drivers give us away, you know, and we wave back.
There have been spotters tours every fortnight at the depot since 2007. And today, this lucky lot are the last who'll have a chance to tour Crick before the padlock goes click.
Never done depot tour. I've always tried to get on one, never just had the chance. So very lucky to get on this one today, the last one.
These truckophiles need a leader for today's tour. And that man is 57-year-old day driver Ian O'Neill, who's been based out of Crick for the last 2 years.
This is a special tour. I think everybody's really high spirits for this one, so I think we can have a good time.
So it's cameras and notebooks at the ready as the spotters begin their Access All Areas trucking tour with a look under the hood.
Basically, what we've got is your normal stuff you have in your car. You've got your air system there for your brakes, your water for your radiator, oil, dipsticks. I'm talking about this dipstick, not the one in front of it. How long do you reckon that is? There we go. It's a bit taller than me.
After a close encounter with Ian's dipstick.
How are you doing, mate? All right?
All right, yeah.
Sounds abound.
He guides the spotter squad through every inch of Crick's concrete, giving them unparalleled access to everything.
5691.
So they can snap and scribble the details of all the trucks.
It's very rare, this one. Now and again it comes out.
In the world of spotting, everyone has their tricks of the trucking trade.
I wouldn't take that because of the sun right in the windscreen. Not for me.
Lorry lover Ina always waits for the perfect shot.
I'm very fussy over my photos, thank you. Yeah, very fussy. You see, there's no reflection in the window there, so I took that one.
Other spotters disagree and snap everything.
I don't think 283 photos is enough for today. So I'm going to try and make 300 at least.
It's like a kid in a sweet shop, you don't know which way to look first.
While some take the high-tech route.
Yeah, I use a little voice recorder. It's got different files in, so I have one file dedicated to Eddie Stobart spots.
Well, that's probably his vehicle. He's away all week, you say?
And after spotting some of the company's rarest trucking specimens...
This vehicle here, it's the only one in the country, it's a hybrid. It's electric diesel. Nice little motor.
I don't want it to end. I'm going to stay here as long as I can.
To go for plating.
Ian treats the tour to a glimpse of Crick's most famous resident.
There she is, there's Frankie, the oldest vehicle on the fleet, still working.
Frankie has been in operation for 13 years and is one of a handful of trucks with just one name, not the traditional two. In an illustrious career across the UK and Europe, she's covered almost 500,000 miles, the distance to the moon and back. Her 11-litre 380 brake horsepower engine is still in tip-top condition, so she's now used to transport trailers around the depot.
We mere drivers are not allowed to go near her. We just have to look at her as we walk past with a glint in her eye, like.
Ian has a final surprise up his sleeve for the spotters. The chance to be driven around the depot in a truck.
We're going out in that one today. Grace Nicola. No, you can't drive it yourself.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for this band of lorry lovers.
So who wants to go first? Good lad.
We went round 3 times and we saw the 3 tankers and there was a scout trailer around there. It was exciting.
The truck was like really good. I'd say it was like really big. I really want to be a big truck driver.
Are you going to behave yourself?
I am. You're all that.
Oh, okay then.
And they're trucking loving it.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic, got some good spots.
It were absolutely fabulous because it's just something that I've never done before.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. It was really nice and he was very good, Dave was.
The driver was Ian.
Ian, I thought it was Dave. Sorry, I said his name. I beg your pardon, you better cut that out then.
The tour is over and the doors to Crick are about to close. There's mixed emotions for the spotters who've loved this depot so dearly for the last 17 years.
In one word, phenomenal. Been a brilliant day. Absolutely loved it.
13, 14 years of coming here spotting. It is a bit emotional in that sense.
And when I'm a handful of probably only 15 people that get to do this, especially for the last time, it's something special.
End of an era.
It will be. It will be. Very sad. Very sad.
It's not end of an era. It's the beginning of a new era.
Next time, waste warrior Craig Garside fights through treacherous fog.
You can't go early round the corner because you'll end up taking a car out.
Matt Eakins is back on the road full time, but has he lost his touch?
I know how to get to Telford. I just don't know where I'm going when I get to Telford.
And dieting Dave Pickerel is faced with a truck full of temptation.
We've been picking up a load of chocolates. Not really a good place to be going because I'm on a diet.